Hello and welcome to LeedsHacksnews. I'm Partington.
And I'm James Brennan. Here are today's headlines.
Residents of Holbeck protest against the managed red light zone.
The bid for a clean air scheme in Leeds has gone up in smoke.
And cheers, it's Beaujolais Nouveau Day. Campaigners from Holbeck held a vigil outside Leeds Civic Hall in protest against the managed red light zone. It was met by a counter-protest on behalf of sex workers. Lily Ryder has more.
Residents of Holbeck continue to protest against their red light zone outside Leeds Civic Hall to call on all councillors to oppose the managed approach. Campaigners believe that the managed approach does not benefit anyone, and at the moment all sides are suffering.
Without swearing, it's terrible. The prostitutes are coming into residential areas and having sex on the grass verges. The rubbish that they're leaving is absolutely terrible. So it has to be stopped.
Leave all like it says on the board. They leave all that behind. They've no consideration. They throw it over school walls into the school grounds. There's just no consideration. And people say, oh, you've got to consider these women, you know. But they don't consider us.
Sex worker activists are also campaigning for the safety of the women involved.
If we actually looked at this a little bit better and learnt from other examples across Europe, we could balance these interests better. We can do some things that are not so expensive, you know, cheap, some fairly basic investment in the area to solve things like litter, lighting, and when we're addressing the sex worker safety, we can look at how to provide a safe place for them to actually do business.
The first legal red light zone is based here in Holbeck. The council's managed approach was to help the safety of prostitutes in the area. Locals have been impacted by the council's managed approach, with 8,000 used condoms being found in the streets and parks of Holbeck in 2018.
Leeds City Council want to help and are attempting to resolve the issue.
What we're needing to do is the major and the most important thing that we must do is put in place a programme for the sex workers, because the vast majority of the sex workers have either got a drink, a drugs or mental health issues. They are not doing it for any other reason. They really do have serious problems, and we've got to find a solution to that.
This is Lily Ryder reporting for Leeds Hacks.
A £40 million clean air scheme for Leeds has been rejected by the government.
The news is a blow for campaigners in one of the city's most polluted Simran Kerr reports.
Yesterday, clean air zone plans were rejected by Environment Minister Theresa Coffey, as she claims that the Leeds City Council were asking for too much money.
At the moment, we're going to look looking in detail at the Minister's letter and look in detail at our plan to see where, again, and do more modelling, because we insist that our work in Leeds is evidence-based rather than emotion-based. We have to do what's the most effective for the long-term benefit of the people of Leeds. So again, it's in part back to work really on the proposals, and we'll try again to bid for fund. We were required to address air quality issues, but in fact we've been asking for extra powers and money to look at air quality in Leeds for quite a long time now. All the core cities in the United Kingdom have been asking the government to do it. Obviously then there was the court case which the government lost regarding air quality issues, and obviously they have decided to make local authorities the main source of cleaning our air, which is fine. We're happy to take on that challenge, but that's come at a time when they've drastically cut our resources. Austerity is real hard and biting for local government, particularly big Labour northern cities like Leeds and Sheffield and Manchester and Bradford. We're suffering from huge budget cuts, and they've effectively given almost all responsibility for improving local air quality onto councils such as ours. So hey-ho, we've taken that on. We put together a comprehensive package. We did extensive amounts of computer modelling to look what would be most effective.
I think it's really disappointing that the government aren't supporting the council to try and make a difference to the air quality in Leeds. However, I don't think the plans were that great to start with. I can tell them very simply how to save themselves £40 million. Just stop cars from coming in the centre. You don't need to charge them, just don't let them in. It's very simple.
This is Simran Carr reporting for Leeds Hacks.
Today's a special day for wine lovers.
Beaujolais Nouveau is a celebration of one particular French grape. Holly Green has been doing some tasting.
The annual celebration of Beaujolais Nouveau is an important day in the wine lovers' calendar. It gives them a chance to celebrate the wine each year. Once Upon a Vine, a wine shop in Horsforth, are just one of the establishments celebrating the day.
A Beaujolais Nouveau Day is traditionally a time of celebration. It's the third Thursday in every November, and it's a celebration of the new vintage, the new harvest of wine being finished off. So the third Thursday of November is supposed to be the latest possible date when the grapes have been harvested, the juice has been fermented, and the new wine has been made. So the idea is it's a sneak preview of the wine that's to come. The winemakers can't wait to taste the new wine, so as soon as it's ready, they want to bottle some and they want to try it. There's a new generation of winemakers, and they are kind of reinventing Beaujolais Nouveau Day on their own terms. And so today there's a lot of very experimental, natural, biodynamic winemakers who are working in Beaujolais, who are trying to use Beaujolais Nouveau Day to sort of launch their own projects. A Beaujolais Nouveau party, which is what people used to throw, would involve firstly making sure that you got hold of the wine on the day, which itself is quite a difficult thing to do. And then you would traditionally serve it chilled. So it's very fresh, very fruity, very easy drinking. There would be platters of just simple charcuterie. Ham is the classic pairing with a Beaujolais Nouveau. Maybe a little bit of cheese, fresh goat's cheese, and it would just be. I mean, it's a celebration. It's a knees up. So everyone just drinks a whole lot of Beaujolais Nouveau, and has little nibbles, and it's about having a good time and celebrating.
This is Holly Green reporting for LeedsHacksnews.
The film agency Screen Yorkshire is looking to expand its business in Leeds.
The new film office will create further opportunities for UK and international producers. Jack Church has the details.
Television and film-based company Screen Yorkshire has announced their expansion. This came after Channel 4 announced that they will be making Leeds the home of their company. This is great news for Leeds as a city, as there will be a lot of opportunities for production.
Around about 2015, we won some support from the BFI to do a study called the Creative Clusters Study, which was to identify what the current film industry was in the Yorkshire region and to work out what could be done to increase the growth of that, increase the strength of that industry. Channel 4 coming to Leeds is an absolute game changer. They're bringing a variety of production into Leeds. The opportunities then for jobs and the expansion of the industry locally will be huge. In terms of opportunities that Channel 4 are going to bring for local people, I think it's going to be absolutely fantastic. When ITV closed a good chunk of its output from Leeds about 10 years ago, there was definitely a sort of lean patch then, but that's long since passed. The amount of production coming in, as I said, is unprecedented. I've never seen it so busy. Exciting times. We've got a lot of potential coming up. We're just not entirely sure which ones are going to land yet.
Get ready for more film action in Leeds. This has been Jack Church, reporter for Leeds Hacks.
A Leeds art project that provides affordable workspaces is upgrading its premises thanks to a grant.
Money comes to the Key Fund and Unity Trust Bank for Leeds Art Hostels to open in Mabgate early next year. Harley Young has this report.
Leeds Art Hostel has been providing artists and creatives with a safe space to work on their projects. Though we'll be sad to see their premises on Kirkgate close, they will be opening a new one in Mabgate earlier next year. We spoke to receptionist Rianne about her time at the hostel.
We bring people together, sitting around the table on a night. You can have a conversation with someone from another part of the world, over a glass of wine maybe, and then the next morning you can finish that conversation over breakfast. And so it's ongoing like that, and it's a different way of hosting. It's more communal, it's more hospitable, it's a way that people can collaborate. The level of support we've received has been amazing. We've had so much wonderful feedback, and the level of obviously custom that we've had as well. Obviously it's not elitist, you don't have to be an artist to stay here or a creative. You could just come for your Christmas shopping or after a night out. But we have been lucky enough to have worked with Unity Trust before. They're a charitable bank. They invest and also supply money to charitable social enterprises and other charitable organisations such as us, and we've done so well on our first 2.5 years that they've actually been able to give us a mortgage to buy our own property, so the art hostel now has a permanent home. We've also had support and investment from Key Fund, which is a social enterprise that invests in other social enterprises, and they're also, really invested in the way that you run a business. It's not just for the money. And we've been lucky enough, this is our second, we've returned to them for our second charitable loan from them, so that's really amazing. We're really lucky and we're really happy to have this support from such amazing organisation.
If you're feeling creative yourself, why not come down and help them decorate their new space? They're always looking for volunteers. Harley Young reporting for Leeds Hacks.
A new book celebrating some of Leeds' innovators has just been released.
The authors of Leeds, Cradle of Innovation were signing copies in the city today. Our reporter Chris Nichols has more.
Leeds Cradle of Innovation aims to champion creative minds across the city from over 200 years ago right up to the present day. One of the modern features in the book is multi-purpose venue and event space Duke Studios. Regularly hosting talks, workshops and parties throughout the month, creatives are invited to collaborate at the space. We found out why these establishments are vital to the city's innovative character.
So Duke Studios was founded by Laura Wellington and James Abertonley, full double barrel name, in 2011, when it's quite different today to what it was. Initially it was cardboard walls and quite an open shared workspace. So that's kind of how it was founded. And then today, this was meant to be our second site here. This is Sheaf Street now. We used to be based over at Munro House. Sheaf Street, one of the most important things was to develop ourselves to a point where we actually had a space that was open to the public too. So we've got the cafe and the bar, and with that, the event space and the meeting rooms like the one we're in now. Certainly when we all graduated, it was very much a DIY culture, and I think that's something that still stands true and strong now. As students, we were all told if you want to make something happen here, you're going to have to go out and do it yourselves. So we're really proud that we're part of that group that have done that, but it's even more exciting to see the other places that are popping up. So you see places like Wolf Chambers and the studios that they have above there, and all the other things that are going on, and people just cracking on with projects. It's good for student retention, hopefully, keeping the talent in the city, but also attracting people back too. If people weren't willing to put themselves out and do exciting projects, I don't know what it would be here.
Over 100 like-minded individuals can be found in the book that have pushed the city forward over the years. I've been Chris Nichols, reporting for LeedsHacksnews.
Can you see yourself picking up a copy, James?
Not really, I'm not much of a reader, I'll probably wait for the film.
Well, that's all from us at LeedsHacksnews. Good night.